Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Benjamin Magnus Plays Hearts of Iron 3. Last episode, we left off having launched 2 counterattacks versus the Germans, and they have been massively successful. We had our own Stalingrad-esque battle right down here on the bend in the Don River and wiped out the majority of a German army and managed to counterattack past the pocket and capture back a little Soviet land. There's also been a massive counterattack underway in the north. Now, it's been ebbing and flowing. We've been taking and losing provinces. Everybody's been suffering some pretty horrendous casualties, and we should probably actually cool our tits on this right now, just so everybody doesn't die. Well, this flank is perfectly healthy right now. And they're counterattacking up here near Narva, but we have a ton of guards divisions, so I'm okay with that. There's been some debate in the comment section about why the guards units aren't getting any larger. One person said it's because the brigade strength decrease is the exact same as the brigade strength increase, and they've canceled each other out. I'm not sure where that came from because there are no techs researched into brigade strength decrease. They are only in brigade strength increase. And if we go into tech, or production, I mean, and look at the size of the brigades, 7,000, 12,000, 14,000 for guards, 14,000. You can see they're very large. Guards' heavy armor is even pretty decently sized. And if you go and look at the guards' units in here, they're between 3,000 and 3,500. So I don't think the strength increases is going to work on the event spawned units for whatever reason it was. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what's causing that, but something in there is causing that. During the struggle, we lost 12,000 troops. They lost 1,700, but we managed to take the province. That's fine with me, actually. Perfectly fine with me. I don't know how... Whoa. Hello. That was A, a bark from my dog, and B, a large battle. Oh, that was this one up here. All right, that's cool. That's fine. We can take some losses. Actually, we can start pulling this infantry up off the line here because we don't need it here anymore. It was serving defensive purposes. And without the need for those provinces to be defended, we don't need the infantry on the line. So what we can do is take these corps and move them on up. It's actually pretty easy to find them, too. Just move everybody right up here. Cool. Alright, hopefully that'll let me get a little bit more organized. It was suggested that I launch a general counterattack along the entire frontage, but I don't think that's necessarily terribly feasible right now, A, because of the supplies it would take. The Germans are suffering from lack of supplies. I don't want to, suffer from lack of supplies as well. You can already see there's some supply issues here, and I really would prefer to not lose this province. So why don't we take our mobile units and move them on over here, and then take these guys and launch a counterattack right there to relieve some pressure. That should help. I mean, most of these units are completely spent, and B, out of supplies. I think the infrastructure here is pretty wrecked because of the constant counter. Actually, it's not that bad. It's actually fine. I thought it was a lot worse, but it's not. And we actually won that battle. Wow. That means these units can move up here. No, we'll move these units here. That'll be fine. The further I can move off the Magnus line, the happier I'm going to be. Definitely going to be pretty thrilled to get off the Magnus line. Alright, let's actually grab all of these guys. Move them on up. Make sure we don't lose this province. These units are pretty damn good. They're very good in combat, but they're just small. So they're capable of losing their oomph pretty quickly. I can't believe the Germans lost down here. That's pretty amazing. They lost almost an entire army due to lack of supplies. Guard Rifle Corps. 4th Guard Rifle Corps. Let's try to get these guys organized up together. Probably should get attached to the cavalry. Alright, Rifle Corps. Make sure they're attached into the... These event spawn units are a nightmare for my order of battle. Trying to get them all attached and set up correctly. Another guard rifle corps. Move them up over here. Just going through, making sure everyone is attached in. It looks like they are. They're not attached to the entire order of battle right now, because if we go to the Moscow thing and look at it, it's kind of a nightmare. There's 7.25 million people in the army right now, but most of the ones that... Alright, did they... Yeah, they canceled that attack, so we can cancel ours. Most of the ones that spawned in are not appropriately attached to the entire thing right now, the entire order of battle. So our counterattacks, we launched 2 minor. I wouldn't call... Honestly, I was going to call a minor. I don't think minor is the correct terminology for what happened here. Because we crushed an entire German army and drove them off of the Magnus line in the north, basically ending their drive towards Moscow, because these provinces are firmly in my hands now, and we're not getting rid of them. Alright, these units definitely need a good rest. Look, oof. Look at how ravaged this division is right now. Right, these guys can hold out. Yeah, you'll be fine. Which battle was this one? We struggle. 11 of our troops were killed. Hungary lost the battle, so those were Hungarian troops attacking me. They lost one out of every 2 men that attacked that province. We're dead. Are gone. Now, I feel like we should launch another counterattack here. So we grab everything we got. Let's just launch everything into this. Right there. At the German units. Because I can wipe them up with the infantry divisions after the fact. Because the German units, I want to make sure that we keep the pressure on them. I'm not worried about the Romanians or the Hungarians, the allied units. But the rest of them I am a little worried about. Alright. That's a Panzer division. Not doing as well as I hoped. So why don't we give them 1, 2, 3... 3 tank divisions. See if we can break the stalemate there. Tank on tank should be able to do the job. I mean, that should help out, right? Oh, they're not in the battle. Oh, one of them is. Starting to help out. They're losing a lot of strength. That seems to be what's happening with the Germans a lot, is they lose their strength because they're unwilling to yield, which is historically correct. So everybody dies. Everybody dies because they're unwilling to yield. Now we're moving a lot of units up towards the front here. Let's make sure we keep doing this. Attach to a rifle corps so that we got these guys set up correctly. Cavalry. Let's move them over here. He's attached into an army, correct? Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so all these guys, move them up. Where is your... Whoa. So what happened here? Got very detached. Let's actually try to reorganize this by moving these guys. I like organization. Organization makes me happy. Organization makes me very happy. Cavalry, move them on up. So we're actually pushed off of the Magnus line in 2 places, which is just amazing. We have a tank division here with nobody attached to it, or not attached to anybody. What we could do is attach him to the Guards Cavalry. That's fine. I'm okay with that. What we need is like a Guards Army command structure down here. So why don't we do that? Let's go attach. Luxembourg stole some shit for us. We're going to call this the 9th space Guards Army. We're going to give it a leader. Let's see if we got anybody good down here. Skill level. Oh, a high skill level. Here we go. Well, someone will have to get a demotion. That's fine. And then that can get attached to the Kharkov military district, which is right down here. And then what we can do is go Guards Army, attach to the Guards Army, attach to the Guards Army. Is there any more in here? Looking for those cores. I think this one? Nope. This one? Yes. Guards Army. So that's another 250,000 men appropriately added to the battle structure. And we are definitely cooling it down here a little bit. I mean, we spent a lot of lives, a lot of military material taking these provinces, and I definitely want to hold them. So we're gonna need to cool it a little bit. Let's take these divisions, they're fresh as could be, and attack the. I don't think there's any German units up here. So I don't think these guys are going to be prove terribly problematic for me. Defense modifier of 400%, attack modifier of 40%. Alright, we won right there. Alrighty. Now, let's look up here. Don't we have... Yes, here we go. We have some tanks heading up this way. Let's look at our infrastructure here. Let's take this one and have him head this way. And these ones and have him head this way. There we go. Make sure that they're strategically moving there. I don't remember. Does that slow them? Does that stop them and slow them down? It looks like it does. If you change their movement. Captured armor needs a leader. Rank 1. Yeah, there we go. Oh, and battle expert. There we go. All right, cool. How's this going? Not bad. We've already cracked a Romanian or a Hungarian division, I think. Or they either that or they just retreated out. And how are we looking here? Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. Kind of rough. Alrighty. I'm thinking this province is the next one that needs a solid counterattack. So what we're going to do is come just streaming out of the marshlands here. And just slam into the German flank. Oh, did you see the organization loss there? That's pretty high. Alright, now what we're going to do as soon as we're able, even though these units are spent, I'm okay with that. Get a flanking attack going. Yeah, wow, they are really ripping through our organization, but that's okay. They're in a dense forest, which is why they have a high defense modifier there. Guards reinforcements from the guards. This is pretty intense. These counterattacks are really costing the Germans a lot of lives. I didn't really expect to be counterattacking this heavily, but it's working out swimmingly, and I really wish I had more units down here now to just crack open this area. We can actually do that if I wanted to. This is so thinly held. Let's take a core and attack down here and see what we're working with in terms of organization. Let's take another cavalry. Well, let's just do this. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Throw those guys into it. And then this core, because we're going to try to push out here. There, and we're going to flank them with some guards infantry. That's a city. But we can easily attack right here. And throw in you and you like that. And start a more general... Ooh, we got some SS. No, that's militia, not SS. Start some more general counterattacks. And see what we can do. This is just amazing. I'm super thrilled with the way this is going. They're losing... This is funny. The Germans lose strength. They take combat casualties quicker than they lose organization. Alright, we won. That was a defensive battle there. That was a counterattack from them. against Italy. We won. Yeah, this is definitely very historically accurate. Whenever I see the German allies, it's just like, all right, let's focus our attack right there. That's exactly what the Soviets did. All right, before we hit this, let's find that province. SHCH. SHCH. There we go. Ooh, perfect. We need this. Right on the border. That's wonderful. National, so right up in here. And was it broadcasting? Here we go. Counterattacking all over the place. Let's take some guards units and aid in a flanking maneuver. Good. Looks like we're making some progress here. You know what? I actually think we're going to... They just brought in reinforcements, so let's knock that off. During the struggle, 24,000 of our 240,000 troops were lost. Out of Germany's 31,000, 2,400 were lost. Now they're going to counterattack and get wrecked. I'm happy with the gains I've made in this counterattack. I really would have liked to made a little bit more in that area, but we can work with what we got. We're still making gains down here in the south. Su-100s, wow. And we actually got the Katyushas. Is that how you pronounce that, Katyusha? If I remember correctly, it's just the diminutive, that word is just the diminutive form of the Russian name for Catherine. So kind of like saying Katie. Monumental architecture, veteran unit opportunity, Red Army, experienced guards. Let's hit guards and see what happens. Warm up some more tanks. National again. Monumental architecture. There we go. Oh, there's the unit of pure evil. Apparently they've been strategically redeployed away from the Leningrad front. Looks like we're having a little trouble getting supplies down here. Wondering why. Shouldn't be. Yeah, they're not getting any. Maybe it's because the infrastructure... No, the infrastructure was fine. One extra wide tracks for my tanks, not tranks. Let's see, that would be armor. All right, and then we can add on the 1941 tech. So let's scoot all the way down to the bottom. Make sure that we get those going. Alrighty, good. Still got 102% officer ratio, which I'm pretty thrilled with. We got our tanks moving up into Finland. I mean, I'm assuming that the Germans are going to start running out of supplies up here because, well, they don't have a lot of units. They have a few. They have 1, 2, 3 panzer divisions, 4 panzer divisions, and 2 infantry divisions. It's more than I expected. We could take care of that, though. What we're going to do is surround Stalino here and try to wipe it out. Which means I don't need many units in this province right here. We can grab some of these and launch them into a flanking maneuver here. Empty province, which means we could just grab these 2 infantry divisions and move them up. Empty provinces here. Wow. Completely empty. So let's just leave the garrisons where they are. And we're just going to flood these units straight through here. And we're going to see if we can create a pocket around Stalino. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, of course. Generally, I don't. It is June 1942, and the Germans are getting their asses handed... Well, locally. In local combat, they're getting their asses handed to them, not over the entire front. Right, another small battle. That was pretty standard casualty statistics right there. Now, this province right here is going to be going to be part of the encirclement. So we can leave, let's just leave like 2 guards divisions right there. Move the rest over this way. And then what we'll do is leave 2 here, and we'll try to launch the attack around this way. Because those are Italian units. So I shouldn't have too much trouble there. There was some Germans in there, but they fell pretty quickly. Looks like just some heavy arty captured French artillery pieces. Yeah, those are going to get overrun. We're going to try another small encirclement over here. How we doing? You guys just hang out. Absorb the blow. Oh yeah, we're fine there. Tanks are moving into position. Captured German panzers are very low because I think they started out. Oh, hang on, slow down. Maybe it's just the organization. They started out with a lower strength too, but it's better now. We won right over here. 0 for 0, so no big deal there. In a struggle, we lost 155 men. They lost 5,000. 10 to 5,000 over here in a counterattack. Whoa. Up there, this is mostly German allies, I think, but 1,000 and 22,000. And down here in the encirclement of Stalino, 300 to 4,000. So what we're going to do is grab all of these cavalry and let's see. Let's do this. Let's split them in half. Attack. Attack. Let's see what we can do here. I mean, there's not a lot of divisions here. It's going to be a pretty small encirclement, but any German units wiped out is just a huge win for me. The infantry is going to come in here and plug up that gap that's going to get left in the line. This is Romanian light infantry. Not terribly scared of that. Alright. There's not enough troops here to launch any sort of other counterattack, but, I mean, look at how many units are bottled up because we were able to hold Sevastopol. That's pretty amazing. Local counterattacks are proving insanely useful. I think this has completely drained Germany's ability to launch counterattacks this season because spring's already come and gone, and we're partway into summer, and the Germans are worried. They're worried about what I'm doing instead of what they're doing. Alrighty, send these guys up that way. Make sure everybody's on the move. Everybody's involved. Oh, we got a lot of units in here that aren't doing anything. Actually, let's deselect these guys and get them in here. We want to make sure we crack that German division because that's what's holding us up right there. And how are we doing here? Just about broken. There we go. 15,000 to 10,000. These German divisions, they just don't retreat. They're not going to take a step back either. It's brutal. Alright, can we keep the pressure up in the north? We might be able to if we help. What I'd really love to do is be able to drive straight across Estonia and cut off the units up here, which actually might be a very good idea. Let's take these motorized troops and redeploy them over here. Let's redeploy troops in anticipation for that. I think that's a great idea. Now we should have some more event spawn troops around somewhere. Captured German weapons are what? Heavy artillery, German light vehicles. Why don't we do that? Let's go like this. Reorganize and throw in artillery. And then we can reorganize, throw in some artillery. There we go. That gives a little more hitting power to these guys. Strategically redeploy, and there we go. So we've got another German encirclement completed, just about. Once the troops finish their movements, we'll have that pocket created over here, and this is going to be right around the city of Stalino. Now, the casualty statistics are so peculiar because of the way this has been unfolding. Going solely on the defensive, ceding all this land to the Germans and letting them come to me, it was definitely the right way to play this. Yeah, these Romanian troops, they got nothing on me. Got time, make sure they're still good. Yeah. Because if I could break through right here, we can go. That's forest, forest, forest. It's forest all the way through. And what would be preferable would be to take this line down here closer to the river, but this is the shortest possible route right here. 1, 2, 3. And then that would trap all these units up here in Estonia. And if, you know what? Let's think about this. We don't need to keep pushing up here if we're going to try to wipe these troops out. What we need to do is push down here. And these units actually have a lot of oomph to them. Let's move them up. Give us a little bit more to work with. I'm not worried about this. Right now, at least. Let's grab, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, are these guys all... Yeah, they are. Let's grab these guys, and let's move them down here. Whoop, nope, not that way. Let's go like this. There we go. And move them down here. Strategically redeploy those people for our Estonian... Not strategic... Well, not literally strategically redeploying them, more like figuratively strategically redeploying them. They're actually hitting the Magnus line here in an attempt to distract me, but they're not gonna be able to do anything. We got, I don't know, what is that? 5 German divisions cut off in Stalino right now. They're counterattacking. I'm not worried about that though. Let's see what these guys got. Oh, they immediately retreated out of the city, which was a terrible idea because they would have been able to hold the city far easier than this province right here, which is just open plains. Oh, it's going to be another German... That's going to be more like an Army Corps cutoff. I'm pretty sure I saw 4 German divisions, 3 German divisions maybe, and 1 Italian. I don't know why they decided to retreat out of the easily defensible position, which was a bad... what just happened right here? Did I tell every single person from that province to move out? I must have. Whoops. That's a mistake. Well, let's bring some units in there. I think I accidentally left that position completely undefended. But we do have plenty of units nearby. Okay, those were only German... Like, they sent in transports and nothing else. That was a bad idea. So this is gonna be a bloody ass battle, but we were going to slam into the German positions right here and see if we can cut off all of Estonia. Ah, that's a major counterattack. That is a major counterattack. Alrighty, folks. Well, we are going to leave this... Well, why don't we wait until we take Stalino here? Captured back our first Russian city. Yep, that's a Italian division under German control. Captured our first Russian city back. So, with another pocket created, another German Army Corps and an Italian, well, maybe a little less than a corps, and an Italian division cut off, we are redeploying our troops for a major push in the Baltic states. We're going to take back Estonia and see what we can cut off over here. I'm thinking that a lot of these German divisions are going to retreat south instead of north, but we're going to get mostly allies, but we're going to be able to cut off, I would say, at least 2 armies in Estonia and probably wipe them out if this goes well. So everybody, if you have enjoyed this episode, just drop me a like, leave me those comments right down below, and if you're interested in more Benjamin Magnus Plays Hearts of Iron 3, just subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time.